Okay, wait. Oh, there we are. Hey, True Believers England team here. It is Throwback Thursday. This is where we talk about any good old classic comic book. Sometimes something that either I haven't read in a long dang time or VENKMAN here has never read, as a matter of fact.
And this is one of those.
Not common. Yeah, this is actually exactly that. We're talking about the second Marvel and DC crossover, Spider-Man and Superman. And Eric, who was a big proponent of the first Superman versus Spider-Man, the one we did last week, this one right here, it's messing around with the green screen here. But this is the book that we're talking about tonight, right here. And I got to tell you, Eric was right. Eric was right. It was the first one's better.
It always seems to be the case. Civil War I is better than Civil War II.
Yeah, I guess maybe
Tony didn't die in the second one or the first one.
Yeah, so I was talking to VENKMAN backstage. I said, I don't know what we're gonna say about this, because if you're reading a book and it's really good, you could go, oh my gosh, this is so good, I can't wait to tell people about it. Oh, I want to share it, it's so wonderful, woohoo. And if it's a bad book, it's like, oh my, you're not gonna believe how stupid this is. This book is A-okay. This book is superiorly not bad.
My only complaint with both these books is they're so freaking long. How many pages there are?
Oh, that didn't bother me.
It
bothered me with this one because I kept going, okay, get to
the first one was like 90 pages because they had to explain who each character was. It's like,
thankfully, though, they didn't do that with
No, that's why this one was like a lot pages less. It was actually the very first insert page, I believe, is where they actually have
it's on
cutters,
the cover.
Yeah.
Let me
which is great because that's all I needed. I don't it's like having like the Uncle Ben origin for like a third of the movie. I don't need to see that. We already know Uncle Ben dies and bites in Spider-Man. And and I guess it was maybe if there were the reason they did in the first one, because they figured that nobody who was reading, people were strictly DC or Marvel. So the people who are reading Superman were not reading Spider-Man, so they explained who they are. The people who are reading Spider-Man were not reading Superman.
Yeah.
And it was weird because the movie came out later, though, right? The Superman movie was because the first one was like in the early 70s.
Yeah, the first movie was in 1978. The first book, I believe, was around the same time, or maybe a little bit after.
Oh,
this is why we need Breen here, because he'd be like, "No, it came out at this year," except for with a deeper voice. I don't know why I did that voice.
It came out around this voice.
Yeah. But yeah, but yeah, they did come out around the same time.
Yeah,
this one was in 1981. Yeah.
But that's what
the characters in the first book says. Moran, you set up the scene. Those prologues gave the characters motivation efficiently. This book cuts the chase, and that it does. This is very chase cutting.
Do you think that's what ruined it, because they cut the chase instead of giving you the setup?
I don't know. I don't think so. See, okay, so first of all, I love the cover.
Yep.
Everything here, and I kind of did the same thing on the thumbnail, made sure that Spider-Man and Parasite were together, Superman and Doomsday were together. I like the colors. It's orange, not green like it is behind me. I don't know what the hell is up with that cover.
I'm not a fan of Superman's pose as he's landing, though.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is because he's hanging on. It's like, what is Superman? Why is his arms like you're going down?
The weird thing about their poses is that they're facing the audience.
Yeah.
At the same time, they got to keep an eye on the criminals. So everybody in some way, shape, or form is facing the audience right here.
If I'm Spider-Man, I'm yelling, "Hey, idiot, get out of my way. I'm landing here."
Right. Gradu is in the house. How do you do? How's it going? Joe's in the house as well. And this is, of course, we get the origins. And the story starts right away. And yes, right here it says 1981.
So this is right after that. So
yeah,
they find it. Yeah, they could. So the first one probably was before the movie with Superman.
So we start right away. I love the way they put the credits in the scene, like it's like a Hollywood Boulevard thing. Great splash page. Special thanks to Marv Wolfman for plot suggestions. It's done very well, and there's a bank robbery going on. And by the way, I have heard that it's easier to go through a weak wall rather than like the front of a vault door. So if you're ever going to rob a bank, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
I would suggest going under, drilling, and then putting chemical in there so it melts it, and then you just go to the floor. Everybody's got their ways. I never liked the chemical under the floor way because you're in a tunnel yourself, and if it spills, then it could affect you a little bit. I mean, the vapors, just wear a gas mask, be fine. I guess. I mean, you're going to be having some sort of breathing apparatus if you're digging a tunnel. Nicolas Cage has taught us how to do it many times. He is our mentor, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so basically there's a bank robbery going on, and Spider-Man thwarts it. We do see, of course, he's taking pictures. You mentioned the fact that you like... Oh, I love the early West. Yeah, call me responsible. Yes, I'm unreliable. Scooby, what do I... Frank Sinatra, man. I just loved it in the classic Spider-Man, the culture. Today it would have been like, you know, some Britney, not even Britney Spears. It would have been like a Taylor Swift song. You know, it's like I don't want that. Well, it does show a sense of whimsy as Spider-Man's doing his thing and everything. Yeah, and you gotta like that. At least. The other thing is what's cool about this. Above that, he's like, you scroll up a little more. The show that the guy's like, we can't shoot him. He's holding our guy. Like nowadays, you're like, screw it, we'll kill the guy anyway. Yep, just to show how tough everybody is. And right away, Spider-Man, even though everything is done, he's feeling the spider sense is going off. Cops come up, and he even says, wow, I bet you guys are going to be helping out, but nope, you're going to say, and they're like, Spider-Man. The funny thing is, like, he said it, like, wow, I get great shots. There's photos in here. So I'm like, if I'm a criminal, what is he taking photos for? Is he... I should have some great shots of this. You're taking pictures of you beating us up. You're sick. And he talks about how he's going to sell to Jameson right next to the guys. There we go. All neat and tidy, and I managed to keep the whole thing in range of my trusty camera. I should have some great shots of this. Maybe if my favorite newspaper publisher, yeah, they're like they could go and, hey, who sold you those pictures of Spider-Man? But we know Jameson won't tell them. We saw that in the movie. One of the greatest scenes in the movie is it's anonymous. They come through the mail. Spider-Man taking photos of himself. Nonsense. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. He's not exactly being very cautious with his identity here. So the cops come, Spider-Man flies off, and we see that Dr. Doom actually has a secret lair underneath the particular bank that's being robbed. And this is and basically it's a lot of freaking dialogue from Dr. Doom. It is, yeah. This look, I am a-okay with dialogue, but as Steve Martin tells John Candy, have a point. That would be nice. Just have a point. This is basically, we got to teach DC Comics people about who Dr. Doom is. And one thing they're teaching him is he is a wordy sumbitch. Mr. DC Comics, Parker is in college age. There you go. Okay. Yes. He's asking how old he is here. But, and yet I did not like the way Spider-Man paused and looked around after subduing the thieves. He's like, he sensed something unusual about the excavation. Those cursed spider spins of his. Because he could never get them. Yeah, so basically he's walking around talking about himself, and then he's finally like, my labor, my genius have brought me to the threshold of world domination, and Doom will not be denied. Dun, dun, dun. And it goes on. I need to look at myself in the mirror and talk about how I does the form. Like, they got to explain who he is for those who don't know Doom. Man, you got to hold on. Dewey Cox has to think about his entire life before he goes on a world domination kick. You know what would have been much better for this? An asterisk, it says, see Doom in Spider-Man, you know, whatever, or whatever notes, you know, the origins of Doom. Go read it there. I don't want to read his retelling of his origins every time you introduce somebody. It's like they do. They tell us. I mean, for Christ's sake, what does this have to do with the story? No, it doesn't. Listen to this. But no, the demons that torment me are always with me. Always on the right hand of Doom stands hatred, on the left bitterness. What do you require of Doom, grim specters? What will satisfy thy vengeance?
It was fates who cheated me. If I conquer this planet and usurp their powers over the destinies of men, will that even suffice? Once happiness seemed so close, so easily within my grasp, for a darkly handsome gypsy youth, a genius dabbler in sorcery, it seemed all roads led to success, to fulfillment, even love. Then came the accident which ruined my face and my life in one single series. It is the origin of Dr. Doom told
It is
in 9 panels.
And that's what this comic book suffered from, was that they had to get in. They're going to do the same thing with Parasite. Everybody has to have their version.
So Dr. Doom, he sees the Hulk wandering about with his cameras all over the world, and we cut to Spider-Man. Basically, I do love the fact that he goes out and hits on this girl Cindy here.
Oh yeah,
she's like, "Oh well, okay. You want to go see the Elvis Costello concert?" He's like, "How about a walk in the park and a popsicle?" That's balls, man.
that is Parker though. That's just because he doesn't have money, so it works well. And she's like, well, maybe ask your mommy for allowance. He's like, dude, my parents are dead. I would have said, like, I live with my aunts.
Then we get his bit with the only my Aunt May survives, and we don't have any money, so it cuts to him trying to sell pictures of the fight between Spider-Man and the bank robbers. Of course, J. Jonah always tries to undercut him.
Yep.
And he says, nobody wants to see pictures of Spider-Man. Do you read me, Parker? You're washed up around here unless you start snoping something newsworthy. For instance, the wire services are saying that the Hulk's been sighted heading towards Metropolis, where this other self-styled do-gooder, what's-his-name, hangs out. And, of course, he's pointing to Superman, which gets Parker to get into a copter and fly there. And they start going across. We see some of the destruction that the Incredible Hulk is causing. Now, you would think at this point is where Clark Kent would go, okay, I got to go. But he doesn't.
Clark, this is great footage. I know. I'll keep watching.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he can't get away from the helicopter, but when he lands, he's told that he's got to, they're in the Daily Planet. Morgan Edge and Perry White are meeting for something. Jimmy Olsen was told to go get them. We do get the whole don't call me chief thing from Perry White to Jimmy Olsen. I kind of like the fact that they included that. And then you get this, you get the idiot. What's his name here? Steve something.
Steve Lombard.
Yeah, trying to do the squirting flower, but Clark turns the joke around. As Bree
pointed out, it's only in these 2 books is where Clark gets the upper hand. And, otherwise, Clark always suffers from the gag.
Okay. And so they hear the Hulk's going to be in town, and Superman's like, oh my gosh, I got to get away. And Morgan Edge says, Clark, I want you to stay here and anchor the coverage. And when he says no, Superman fakes a Hulk attack. He stomps on the floor. That makes everything shake. And then I swear to gosh, this is something they never do again. They don't do these days. You hear, run, the Hulk is right outside the building. And Lois says, listen, a voice in the hallway. And Superman says, no, just a little super ventriloquism. That was actually a thing, kids.
Yeah,
I kid you not. He had super ventriloquism. He could throw his voice.
Not only that, he could destroy a planet, but somehow he didn't destroy the building when he stopped it.
Well, maybe he knew how to tap. I mean, basically, if you really overthink it, he could destroy a building just by walking through it. So, yeah. And hello to Tehillium. How's it going? So Doom got the Bendis treatment pre-Bendis. I'm assuming Superman's probably mid-30s. I always kind of figured early to mid-30s.
20, 25, 26 maybe. Was my thing, because you're early 20s.
Barad Yaseg, there are 2 special guest cameos of this book for a reason, which I'll get into it when they appear, says Maranya.
Are they hostess
fruit pies? Included in the right. I think it is because of the Hulk is in here for the TV show, and someone else is too. So everybody runs out. They're like, okay, hurry, guys, don't panic, just go get out. You don't want to get killed, but Superman goes his own direction. And we get the iconic pose here. and we see Hulk causing all sorts of destruction, and Superman comes in, says, "You done enough damage, big fella, now calm down," and we hear Hulk, "Shut up, no one tells Hulk what to do." And they get into their fight where basically Hulk is just throwing things. Finally, he jumps at Superman, knocking him off his feet, and all sorts of higgledy-piggledy ensues. Superman throws the Hulk, and a building falls on him. And he's like, okay, is he out? He might be playing possum. Superman gets close to him, and we hear "Stupid Cape Man," and the Hulk punches him up and over a building onto what looks like over a river too.
Yep. Yeah, that's side of Metropolis, over the Metropolis River.
Mm-hmm. And Hulk starts going crazy. Spider-Man says, "Oh my gosh, the Hulk, it's an emergency. I gotta help, but first let me set up my camera." How many people die?
My thing is,
while he's setting up his camera,
is the camera going to fall off when the building crumbles, when the Hulk hits it?
You would think. I mean, there are people in those buildings, and look, by this picture right here, they are sincerely shaking. This is foundation ruining stuff here, ladies and gentlemen.
By sheer luck, nobody's taking a photo of Spider-Man taking a photo.
I know, right? but yeah, Peter, please, let's not waste any time not setting up your camera that maybe you can make $200. Somebody just got killed by the Hulk right now, Peter. That person's life was worth $200 for your photos. That's what it is, you jerk.
If Spider-Man was still working for the Beagle today, he would have a drone camera that took photos.
Yeah. Yep. So Spider-Man confronts the Hulk, which is never a good idea, but Superman says, "Hold it, Spider-Man. Alive and a little annoyed. Step aside, son. This is a job for Superman." And he's like, "Hold up, wait, I'm not the water boy." And Hulk says, "You back, bah. This time Hulk will smash Stupid Cape Man across the ocean." And Superman's like, "Yeah, but this time I'm ready. And when I'm ready, ain't no power on earth that is going to move me if I don't want to be moved." And we see the Hulk just haul off on Superman, doing literally nothing.
Right.
Just nothing. You know what? Yeah, that's exactly how it would end. The powers in the DC universe is so
much
more than the Marvel universe. Well, but then again, we have seen some great feats of strength and some great strength of feet as far as the Marvel universe.
Look at Darkseid. Darkseid would just use his Omega beams and just kill the Hulk.
Probably. I believe that Darkseid would make look without the.
Well, he could. Yeah, remember he had mind powers.
Destroy Thanos.
Well, yeah. Back then, Darkseid could just be around people. He could mind control them. He can manipulate them.
Joe Rogers saying $200, man. So Superman lets the Hulk get out all of his energy on him, and he starts hearing this noise, and he discovers that there's a little bug in the Hulk's ear, causing him to get more and more enraged, and he catches the bug, destroys it, and Hulk tends to calm down, turning back into Bruce Banner.
I take it back. Why doesn't he have a drone back then? Nobody thought of a drone for Spider-Man?
Well,
he could just build one from scrap.
Well, I'm pretty sure they could with their technology.
If they can have the little robots and the Spider Slayers, he could have had an actual drone carrying a camera.
Right. So we see Superman fly away, and that's when the parasite. Apparently, the fight broke the parasite out of his prison, and he's feeling all sickly because he hasn't been able to sap anybody's energy. But as he makes his way, as he starts to get away, he drains some of Peter Parker's energy. And he even mentions that someone in that crowd must be far more than human for my energy absorbing body to siphon away their strength from such a distance. So he knows somebody's in there.
Oh, I never knew his powers worked that way. I thought he had to physically touch you.
Not if they're powerful enough, like for human, like regular humans, he would
like their key energy, whatever you call it.
So, yeah, that's the way it works. So if it is somebody with superpowers, he can do it from a distance. But if he touches them, it goes faster and he can get more energy from them. And that's how that worked. All right. So Peter feels a little weak. Jimmy Olsen says, "Hey, come on, I'll show you around." And he goes in, he meets Morgan Edge. and he meets Lana Lang. Ah, Holy Toledo, she's gorgeous. Who says Holy Toledo? Come on.
Burt Ward? I don't know.
Right? No, me. That's see. And he decides to sell some photos to Perry White, and Perry White's actually offers him $500 at $5. Oh my gosh, that's 3 times what JJJ would have paid for. And so they decide, go on ahead, let's give the tour. Over at GalaxyCom, you have Morgan Edge basically telling Clark Kent he can't have a leave of absence, but he takes it anyway and flies on over to the Latvian embassy, where he goes to meet Dr. Doom.
Are we halfway yet?
Oh, hush.
It's a long book.
It is a long book. Both of them were.
Yeah.
Let's see. Spidey could build a camera drone in a cave with scraps.
Now, can you guys imagine?
Spidey could build a camera drone in a cave with straps. There you go.
Can you imagine if we were reading this for like a Friday? First appearance Fridays, just reading this whole entire comic.
Oh, I've done these 80 pagers before. Yeah,
I'm just saying, for a sit down with all of us reading, it'd be a 2-hour live stream.
Is Peter Parker one-upping Clark Kent by juggling a tribe from Papua New Guinea now? Not yet. That never actually comes up here.
No, but I do like him using his X-ray vision. I love the effect of that. He's looking around. Either or he's being like the guy from Ghostbusters too, and just
he even says right here, so much for the idea of searching the place with my supervision. So his whole idea was he's going to go and meet Dr. Doom and just go, okay, I got everything I need. That is like an act of war right there.
Look, you see the robot right there.
Yeah, he even says that super suit of armor is really a robot guard. So Dr. Doom meets him, and they start talking, and he says, I want answers, Doom. I gather that you're up to something very big. And Doom says, of course, I'm up to gaining absolute dominion over the entire planet. Good job, Doom. I mean, that is good Dr. Doom writing right there. I like when people are that open with Dr. Doom. Not only is he interested in world domination, he should never feel ashamed by it. Like, it's like he knows he should be ruler of the world, and you're an idiot for not realizing that he should be the ruler of the world. And he says, can it be that this is a surprise to you? I'm very disappointed. I had heard that you were rather more astute, but forgive my unseemly discourtesy. An artist in the midst of fashioning a work of sublime beauty may be indulged in a bit of temperament. So not only is he saying that he is interested in world domination, he doesn't care who knows it, but he is right now in the middle of a plan that will get him that.
He's also in the Latvian embassy, isn't he? So like he's trespassing on his.
Well, he was invited in.
Oh, was he invited? Okay.
Yeah, Superman was invited in. So Dr. Doom talks to Superman, talking about how they are the two most powerful people on the planet, while Superman decides not to use his powers to subjugate humanity. Dr. Doom wants to use his powers to subjugate humanity, and he decides to expose Superman to kryptonite. And he even says, since you've been kind enough to put yourself within striking range, I would not be prudent to let opportunity pass. So, of course, I've got to use kryptonite on you. You're here. And that's when Superman does that the Avatar Earthbender thing, where he rolls up the lead floor around him and then melts it into lead armor, where he could go and grab the kryptonite and throw it into the sun. God bless the 1970s comics, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that is pure 1970s comics. That's why we love them. That's why we got to say great for the Bronze Age. This is Bronze Age buffoonery right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Because the lead wouldn't crack every time he moves it, right?
Well, my thinking is, wouldn't that rock really just like splatter and burst all over the roof or something like that? You got to figure he is throwing it very hard against a certain substance. Maybe the kryptonite is harder.
He threw it so fast, it went through it.
Right. Joe Raj saying, it's all in Dr. Doom's book. I want to rule the world.
Now on sale.
I want to rule the world and make you my slave, by Dr. Victor Von Doom. And Superman, after disposing of the kryptonite, destroys his lead armor, saying that takes care of that. Now Doom and Doom's like, I got another piece right here. Ha! No, he says, what keeps me from peeling that tin suit? And he says, well, I am on Latvian soil, and here, and if I remember correctly, I am the law, and you are sworn to uphold the law. And Superman's like, yeah, you're right. I better go. And as he goes, we see that he is teamed up with the Parasite. Dun, dun, dun.
Gee, Doom, you have a lot of power. Let me just stand next to you and get some more.
Right. So let's see. He says, you know from past experience that your body cannot contain all of Superman's awesome energies. So have patience. For in mere days, Superman himself will make our victory inevitable. And then we cut to Clark Kent trying to get a job at the Daily Planet. And we even have J. Jonah Jameson yelling, if that miserable traitor Parker ever shows his face here again, shut that D. And in all honesty, they misspelled. So
I think we might need to rechange his title to What If Spider-Man and Superman traded jobs?
I know, right?
Because that's pretty much what this is.
So he says, in a way, I'm on sort of a sabbatical, and I was hoping I might be able to do a little freelance work for you. And Jameson says, we might be able to help you out, Clark. And they take him on. Let's see. Superman saying, I can't tell him the real reason I'm here, that Doom and the Parasite may decide to strike at Superman through the people known to be close to him, like Clark Kent. I don't see why not. I heard that Dr. Doom and the Parasite were working together. I want to work on this story because that might involve Superman, which I've been reporting on forever and a day. But instead of doing it for the Daily Planet, I'll do it for the Daily Bugle.
I love that you have him say that, and then just JJ say, nonsense. Spider-Man's working. They're working for Spider-Man.
Right. So they try to talk to him, but Clark Kent pulls Peter Parker thing and just kind of zooms away, and everybody's out in not Metropolis. They look up at the sky. Give me a break. I'm not going to fall for that old line. And we see Superman flying to save a jumbo jet.
The guy's like, geez, is that Thor?
Yeah. So Superman catches the jet and lands it on a building because nothing can go wrong with that.
Also, that was the first mention of context I've ever seen in the book. He's like, I can't see it on my. The guy says in the cars, I don't have my contacts in.
Yeah.
What is going on?
My contacts.
Or the woman. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I think it's just kind of funny that he lands it on a freaking roof building. You don't know what kind of water damage is done.
Honestly, I was expecting him to land it in the middle of a lake. You know,
a field, anything, not on the and does that roof is there like ceiling access?
Back then, their buildings were able to support the weight of planes.
I guess so. Yeah, they just don't build them like that anymore. Okay, so so he does the plane thing. He stops a bank robbery, and we see Jameson knocking on a door. And Kent steps out and he's like, I've been knocked for 5 minutes. He says, yeah, I know. I was on a call, man. And he's doing the same thing that Parker does. Every time he hears an emergency, he has to go stop it. Is right here. He hears that there's a school bus on the tracks. So Superman flies down, gets in front of the train, causes all sorts of damage to the tracks, and stops the train on time. And all I could think of is, would it have been easier to move the bus?
Yeah.
Twins. That is ridiculous. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
He could have just picked up the bus and moved the kids, you know.
Superman, you're a friggin' idiot. He's
like a new hero. It'd be like it's something that Invincible would do, because he's new to this.
Yeah, so, you're right. It's a novice. It's a rookie mistake right here. So, but yeah, that's what happens there. And we get back to the Bugle and we see Robinson saying, here's Kent's latest Superman exclusive. Sooner or later, we're going to have to take an editorial position on the New York's new film benefactor being Superman. And J. Jonah Jameson says, tomorrow's edition will carry my editorial on Superman. Run the headline. New York welcomes a real hero. But I do miss the old days talking about how you
G.I. Joe?
Yeah, right. So Superman decides to go check out Latveria like he was invited to do. When he flies around, he's like, nah, everything looks good. I don't see anything
What's it on the radar? I have no idea.
Yeah, and he goes and asks for any kind of information on a construction site. And then he says, let's see, quite understandable, Sergeant. I hope you don't mind, though, if I look him over and make myself some drawings, talking about the weapons that they brought in.
Yeah.
And we cut to Parasite and Dr. Doom. And he is telling Parasite that he understands that Parasite has a limitation to the energy that he can draw. But when Dr. Doom is ready for him, he'll be able to draw off all of the energy of the Hulk, Wonder Woman, and of Superman. He says, I have yet one other specimen yet to obtain. Enough of this Inquisition. Oh, wait, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. And he says, I have work to attend to. Return to your chambers. And Parasite's like, what? Why, you arrogant? No one dismisses the Parasite. No one. And Doom fires an energy bolt, and he finds out he can't actually absorb it. And Doom tells him basically, you know, I know about your power, so I made my armor so you can't do that to me. And that comes up later as well. And this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is I don't mind this book. I actually don't have problems. I think it's an A-OK book. There's a lot of filler in here. We cut back to Peter Parker at the working at the Daily Planet with Morgan Edge and
Peter Parker forgetting that he was with MJ.
Oh yeah. Oh, he is macking on Lana big time, but she's having none of it. So Steve Lombard comes up and sticks a paper.
I guess after that whole space scenario, she wants something to do with Parker.
Right. And he puts a paper on Parker's back saying, I struck out with Lana Lang. Holy Toledo. Basically here you find out that Steve gets or Peter gets revenge on Steve by sticking his ass to the chair, and we move on. Spider-Man sees crime in progress, jumps down, and this is in Metropolis. He accidentally knocks a cop over the building, but never actually helps the cop get back up, by the way.
Well, it's because they start shooting at him.
No, Gail, that in fact is not nice. It is not nice of Spider-Man to knock a cop over the wall and not help. But lo and behold, the guy gets caught anyway. No thanks to Spider-Man. Spider-Man gets chased a little bit, and he's like, woe is me. This is what always happens. And he says, something's weird with me. I'm off. Something happened when I tried to stop that bank robbery. And he goes back to that construction site, and he finds that there's a piece of steel plate. Maybe it's a trap door. So he opens it up, drops down, and finds himself in the Dr. Doom lair.
Yep.
The way my spider senses are buzzing, now Darth Vader seems like a better bet. Dun, dun, dun. And we find...
Yeah, he said earlier. He said earlier that he's like, before he dropped down, he said, my spider senses are going off like a Geiger counter. He said something's wrong. He's like, you know, like he can't get anything right because he's having problems.
Mm-hmm.
So
we see Wonder Woman is in the house, and she...
so his reaction to this, he's like, what? Spider-Man's here? He's the star of the book, sir.
Yeah.
I thought you're smart.
Wonder Woman's the big surprise.
All right.
And so Spider-Man makes his appearance, and Wonder Woman's like, Spider-Man? He's like, that's me. And then Dr. Doom goes, Spider-Man, behold your query, Spider-Man. The female is our enemy. And kind of makes it seem like Wonder Woman is on, or Spider-Man is on Dr. Doom's side. So Wonder Woman attacks Spider-Man. And she says, you could prove it by, I'll lasso you in the lasso of truth. And he's like, And I don't understand why he says this, but he says, I'm not going to let you tie me up on our first date. It works for me and Gail.
The other thing is, like, how many women is he gonna hit in this book?
I know, right?
You're striking out, bro. Just cool your jets, you know.
I know. And Maranya saying, here's the other cameo appearance because of the TV show. Dun, 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 dun,
Was
dun,
Linda
dun,
Carter
dun,
still show going on in the 80s?
Yeah, it was 4 seasons, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah. So the two of them are still back and forthing. The lights go out, and Spider-Man's like, hello, I'm right behind you. He says, relax, I won't hit you. You know, that glowing rope is a real handicap in a situation like this. And I would like you to notice that I'm not clobbering you right now. And he couldn't.
I like it says, like, you know, I could be clobbering, yeah, the whole thing. And then he's like, I'm one of the good guys. And she's like, well, you made your point. Like, she's like, what the heck? Why is she, like, throwing a temper tantrum a little there?
She's a woman. Oh, we're canceled. So while they're
only
talking,
one of us is getting hit by a girl now.
Yeah, so while they're talking, somebody targets Wonder Woman and shoots her, and the lights suddenly come on, and they take Wonder Woman out. But Spider-Man is able to get away by jumping on a subway car. We cut to basically Parasite. He wants her. He's like, she's mine, and he hits one of the guards, killing him.
Everyone wants Wonder Woman, including Spider-Man.
Oh, there were 3 seasons of Wonder Woman. Thank you, Maranya. Wonder Woman ended in 1979, but this was probably being planned while it was still on, says Eric. There you go. That's why. Less locations on the border. Oh, okay. And so Parasite wants Wonder Woman wants to siphon the energies. Yeah, you bet. And we get the Parasite's origin. And I kid you not, I never realized how well off I was when I was just a man. I was a flunky in a nuclear research plant until the day I made one little mistake. And these are his thoughts. I heard they sometimes ship these payrolls inside these radioactive waste containers. I'll just take a little peek.
Radioactive waste.
You deserve what got to you, man. Seriously.
Yeah, that's an origin I've never heard of. I always hear the other one where it's like something happens and like it's Superman's fault because he's fighting against somebody and he gets exposed to the chemical.
Yeah, well,
or somebody tries to bump him off.
In this case, he did it himself, and he ended up becoming the Parasite. Look at me, Doom. See before you this wretched creature who longs to eat, to sleep, to love, but is denied all the simple pleasures of men since my body was transformed. Yes, I desire her, but I cannot have her, Doom. I can only steal her awesome power. Dun, dun, dun.
And her feminine agile.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that she is a woo man. But that is so.
Can I get one of that rings he's got? Those come with Cracker Jack boxes where it just shows everything. Explain what you want to talk about.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's a micro projector built into the glove. Illustrate. It's like, oh my gosh.
And of course, it's called Project Omega. These are the locations of my Omega installations around the world. They are in every country and every major city. Just to purchase the land they're built under secretly through agents and dummy corporations was a gargantuan task.
There is a lot of the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Doom is the original Dr. Evil. You have billions of dollars, and this is what you do with it? Okay, man. He even says, that must have cost you billions, Doom. Many billions. What you see now is a cross-section of typical installation. Observe how far it must extend underground to house its vast machinery. And, okay, so basically, I'm to describe what he says here because it's one more of those long-ass soliloquies. What the whole plan is to turn all of the fossil fuel into sand. Okay, so then nobody will have any fossil fuel or anything that they can use to create energy. And then Dr. Doom will own everything that creates energy. You get it? It's the same plan as Lex Luthor had in the first movie. You get rid of California, and his land is suddenly the beachfront property.
Mhm.
So he sells it, right? Okay, so
It'd be like us destroying the Middle East, so we have the only source of oil.
Right.
You know where the keys are?
Yep, right here, hun. That's my wife.
And then I'll set up a whole company and I'll just sell gasoline and I'll be rich. I'll be the only one with gasoline. They'll have come to me, pay, worship doom.
Why does no one get transformed by non-radioactive waste? You know, the dumpster juice. like you fall in and you get that shoe water orange juice mix that comes in, and you can run as fast as an orange. I don't know.
It's always a mutagen in the sewer that transforms things.
So Superman and Spider-Man decide to go down into their secret lair, crashing the party, and they have their little fight. Parasite tries to hit Superman, but he's like, I know you can only siphon a little bit of energy if you're far away from me, so he traps him, and then they basically have nothing. They try, in all honesty, but Superman's all about knocking them around until Dr. Doom releases his Superman strong robot that has the two of them fighting. And he goes, what? A robot? No ordinary robot, Superman. I assure you it is constructed of an alloy nearly as indestructible as adamantium. Must be vibranium. And you will find that strength matches your own. And we see the fusion reactor that he's got, the robot, and he fight to the point where they let the parasite out. But Peter Parker swings down and hits the parasite, draining some of his strength, and now giving the parasite spider powers. And he even says, since you were fool enough to touch me, I can do whatever you can do. And the more of your abilities I steal, the less you have. And he even notices when Spider-Man tries to web him up that he's now got a danger sense, and he's bouncing around, not being able to get hit. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I miss the patterns for the web back in the older days. Nowadays, it doesn't look like that at all anymore.
Is it gloopy now, or how do they do?
It's just like white. This looks like he's just shooting out glue white, strings, a little bit of detail. It like the webbing didn't get detailed till you had McFarlane added it, but since then it's just kind of like it's been bland. But I do like this stuff. This is more. He had more pattern stuff, and it just looks cool. And look where he's leaping. You can see the lines where he's leaping.
Yeah,
you don't see anymore.
Give me just a moment. Take some comments here. I'll be right back.
First comment says, "Shoot the bird." All right. Although Parasite could have been better if Parasite appeared at the end of the movie as a DC Connected Universe event. Are you talking about Man of Steel? The 2013 movie? No. The bird is assisting with reading thinking parts. Anyone else wanting Parasite to go stand next to Twiddles? Twiddles already does that. He does that to Ingleton, and he steals his energy from him. Rhaegar says, am I the only one who watches a comic book movie and thinks that they should incorporate the thinking thoughts bubbles? I honestly, if they did that, I wanted to do it with She-Hulk or with Deadpool. I think that would work more because they both can break the fourth wall. Oh, Parasite Korean movie. Oh, I never watched that. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
And yeah, and then Breen said he wants Parasite to go stand next to Twiddles.
Most of us do. What happened was Gail came in. She's going to go.
And then left.
Well, yeah, she's going to go pick Ashley or Elizabeth up from work, and she was moving in and out. And Twiddles figured, yeah, hey, take me. I want to go walk around the house and everything. So he did what he did.
Right.
What we were doing?
We were talking about the motion lines, and then we're going down to the next thing.
Okay. So Spider-Man decides since he can't beat the Parasite, he goes to help Superman with a robot, and they crash it easily. And that's when Spider-Man's all weak and everything, of course, and Superman makes his play for Dr. Doom. And he hits him with the kryptonite ray.
More kryptonite? because that's everywhere now.
Yeah, that actually became a problem. That was one of the things they wanted to correct when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths. It turned out that every gang member and everybody in the world had a piece of kryptonite that they can knock Superman out with.
Well, not only in that, you're seeing that now they're like, now we can synthesize it. We can create false kryptonite that still hurts him.
Yeah,
it shouldn't. It should be worse. Or as far as effectiveness, it shouldn't help. It shouldn't hardly affect them at all. He's like, this is a green rock, you idiots. It's not the real deal.
Basically, that's what should happen. So Superman gets felled by the kryptonite, and the parasite
the color too. See that?
Yeah, it's completely green. Yeah. I've taken away all 4 colors. Ha ha ha.
Impregnated it into the very pores of your skin.
There you go.
Wow.
Then Parasite drains power from Spider-Man. We won! Ha! Spider-Man was so weak and dazed, he didn't even sense me approaching. We won, and it was easy.
Now, here's a thing I want, because remember Spider-Man had the whole problem where he's going to turn into a giant spider?
Yeah.
I want Parasite to start turning into one.
Oh, well,
you take on the abilities.
This sucks. Yep. I thought we were in trouble when Superman burst in and caught us unprepared. How did you beat him, Doom? Doom says days ago when he visited Latveria, my loyal guard bathed his body with an invincible, undetectable particle beam, which saturated his clothing with minute grains of kryptonite micro-encapsulated in lead.
So that's
why I fired at him as he released the kryptonite, albeit somewhat more slowly than I planned. And we see Peter's all tied up. And then we've got the 3 more powerful people all tied up. And
I just keep thinking, it's like Spider-Man's like, oh no, not again. I've been in this before.
Ah, yes, here we are again.
Locked, shackled, and he's just, oh, okay. Because we saw this in the Spider-Man when the Doom appeared. I think it was issue number 4. The first appearance of Doom, but it was either 4 or 5. And you had Doom in there, and he had, instead of having Spider-Man locked in like that, he had Flash Thompson dressed as Spider-Man in the same kind of shackles.
Okay.
But
so Doom says all is ready. Strap the innervator harness on him. And Parasite is finally the power I stole from Spider-Man is beginning to fade, and I crave more, and I can't wait to begin. And Dr. Doom's like, trusting fool, he is impatient to begin his own execution. And Dr. Doom talks about how the power of Hulk and Wonder Woman, which I would have gladly given him before to pacify him, will do him no harm. But when my device begins force feeding the incredible power of Superman, the excruciating overload will cause every cell in his body to burst. And when it is done, the so-called heroes will be naught but lifeless husks. And of course, Parasite will be dead. And we see Spider-Man looking over at Superman. And he's like, I got to try something. Boy, I'm glad I put fresh web fluid cartridges in before I bipped over here. There, Supes is covered head to toe in a light layer of webbing. So now I guess that'll help protect them from the kryptonite energies somehow.
Maybe.
And yeah, it says right here, now to pull it back off of him slowly and hope that some of that kryptonite dust in his costume clings to the web fibers. And
wow, it's like he's like he should start selling that so people can restore stuff with the original color.
Well, that might be it. I know, right? It's basically like he's web licking them like a cat.
Peel a layer back, brand new layer underneath. It looks brand new.
So Parasite is hesitant to put the innervator, whatever it was called, on because he's getting a sense of danger.
Yep.
And Dr. Doom says, I command you to put that vest on. And he's like, no, it's a trap. What are you trying to do to me, Doom?
See, he says, he's like, the thing that the fate of the world lands on an improvised lint brush.
Wait, say again?
Because what he's doing, he said he's licking them. He said, you think that the fact that the world is on an improvised lint brush is webbing, he's pulling it back. He's thinking,
gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
They actually make fun of it too. That's funny.
Yeah. Dr. Doom and Parasite start to get into a fight with each other, and Parasite decides he's going to throw Doom into the energy console, which destroys his Omega thingamajigger or something like that. And Spider-Man and Superman get out. The two of them decides, okay, we're going to fight again. This time, of course, they're ready. Superman rips one of Dr. Doom's gloves off of his hands and goes after the parasite, hitting him with it. I figured that Doom's armor must somehow be impervious to the parasite's power. I was right. He absorbed nothing but punishment from that punch.
I just think of him with his hand still inside the cup.
Oh, rip. Ew,
I need that guy's eye. That guy's leg.
Yeah. Just the glove. I didn't want the rest of it. That's disgusting. It won't come out. Oh, I gotta take a spoon. It's so horrible. Oh, it's so horrible. Yeah, that would be funny. So Dr. Doom makes his way. The controls must be broken. Fix them. I'll try to stall it. This is the it's the Omega thing that's going to be blowing up. So Spider-Man goes to work on the wires. He says, I'm afraid to touch it. I'm afraid I'll make a mistake that'll end it all for everyone. That much sooner. I can't do it, but what choice do I have? And
it's like
Superman
with a printer.
Yeah, right. I know, right? Freaking hell, it was difficult, man.
I know.
And Superman's got to stop the reactor from spinning. And finally, of course, that's exactly what ends up happening. We find out that before Spider-Man got into the battle, he covered all of the controls in the spaceship with webbing, which I thought it was kind of funny. I like that. And, of course, they do succeed in stopping everything. And Dr. Doom makes his escape. But he looks over his shoulder. There's Superman. He's coming. No, I can't be stopped. I'm mere steps away from his sanctuary. And as soon as he makes it onto his land, there's nothing that they could do. And Superman says, keep on trying an imaginary line to protect you from me and by everything I hold sacred next time. And Dr. Doom says, bah, Doom fears you not, alien. Yeah, really? Because for 2 panels.
What he could do is, because he's on a variant soul, lift up the whole entire ground and chuck it into the sun.
Yeah, that would still be an act of war and such. So.
Well, Doom wouldn't be alive anymore.
Makes me wonder why Doom builds a lab anywhere but on Latverian soil.
Because Superman can kill him.
Why do you have a construction site like a mile away? Just build it under where you are right here and boom, right? Everything goes to plan.
I don't know. Maybe he's got the boom tube technology. He can just teleport.
I guess. So anyway, both Peter Parker and Clark Kent return to where they're supposed to be. And Peter Parker tells J. Jonah Jameson that he's used to being treated well and he'd like a raise. And that's why we get this weird look right here. And then we get a good advertisement for DC Comics. Had it.
Look at those titles.
Had it.
Mystery.
Had it. Yep. Had it.
GI Combat, Sergeant Rock.
Yeah. Good stuff. This was the book right here, The Dial H for Hero, that got me really started being a collector. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was volume 2 of Spider-Man versus Superman. What'd you think?
I think that book's better off when people are going reading over it versus just reading, because it just, to me personally, that was just too long of a book, too much dialogue. But reading with a friend makes it much more enjoyable. Not to say that's a bad book. It's just that I personally don't think the story was that great to be that long. They should have trimmed it down.
There's a lot of filler in there. There really is. And it kind of makes this one more of a chore to read than the first one was. I thought the first one the pacing was good. This one is slowed down by a couple of very, very long soliloquies.
Well, to me, what made the first one better is you had Spider-Man versus Superman. That's miles better. Like, fans are like, oh, Superman's going to go against Spider-Man? Like, Spider-Man's going to die. But then when you see him clock Superman, and then he's like, it was like next time, he's like, oh.
Yeah. I actually like the Parasite as a villain. I like, of course, everybody loves Dr. Doom. These are, in my opinion, putting Parasite and Dr. Doom together is a lot more exciting than putting Lex Luthor with Dr. Octopus. But it just, once again, the pacing was way off on this book, and it kind of slows everything down. It's not bad. It just isn't all that great either. And hello, Big Steve is in the house. How you doing?
Doom, if he's done correctly in a Spider-Man book, like it's done well and it's good, you can make it great. But you can also have Doom be written poorly in a book, and it just makes Doom look worse. To me, as a fan, I love Doom in the Fantastic Four stuff. That's where his home is, and he was written well, with Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. And putting him in other books, you can take a hit or miss. Because it's not the original creative team. And this wasn't Stan Lee writing. This was who was writing this one?
Oh goodness,
Breen, quick, tell us.
Bill Montlow, was it? Well, we had it. We actually had it. I closed it out.
Marv Wolfman gave like ideas, but I forgot who the original writer was.
I know, I've got it right next to me here.
I know you get the book.
So let me check. By the way, Amazon, if you've got Treasury editions, I got these off of Amazon, and I have a store as well, by the way. I should link it up here. It's one of those link things. Okay, this was on the, and it was script by Jim Shooter.
Okay, so Jim Shooter gave the script, but then...
and that's what it's saying. Script by Jim Shooter, but I don't see
Marty saying Jim Shooter wrote the second team up.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Compared to the first one, was that him too as well, or was that
no? Lex Luthor would learn from Dr. Doom that magic could be very useful, says Mr. DC Comics. That would be something,
right?
Yeah, that would be something. And let's see, the next superhero crossover has Joker and the Shaper of Worlds. 3 guesses who the corresponding heroes are. Well, I know who they are, so it would be Batman and the Hulk. Now, we are going into October, so we're going to kind of steer into the Halloween thing. We're going to do some classic horror stories and such like that. See how that goes, as well as the first appearance Fridays are going to be villain and or horror based. So
I would love Werewolf by Night. I've never read that.
Okay. I'm not against doing Werewolf by Night either. That boy.
I mean, Dracula, you had the Howling Commandos. Wasn't that like a monster team?
Yeah.
At one point?
Yeah. I have a comic book origins on Old Man Comics I was going to put here also. So, yeah. Good stuff. Make sure you're checking in with us tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I think you're going to enjoy that.
Ooh, you know what also we could do? We could also just talk about some of these newer books in the past 10 years, some of the horror stuff that's come out. Independence.
Afterlife with Archie would be really good. So, yeah. DCU should just blow everybody's minds and come out with what if Superman landed in USSR. They did the animated movie. That wasn't all that great. that was really bad.
People finally got a Wonder Woman they like. She wasn't straight.
There you go. It wasn't a good story at all. Yeah. So tomorrow we're doing first appearance Fridays. Please check out that. It'll start at 10 o'clock. And of course, Saturday is the auction. Usually I show off some of the big dogs. I know Rampaging Hulk #2 didn't sell, but here's issue #1.
Cool.
We also have first appearance of I put it in the box over here. Hold on just a second.
That's all right. No, we can never have enough evil Superman movies.
Here's a set called Dead Man, Love After Death. Really good storyline. That's one of the sets. Oh, I forgot about this. Chains of Chaos, starring Vampirella and Rook, and
cool.
I got that. Another set. I don't know if I'm going to sell it here or on eBay because it's only 3 books, but it ends up being like $15. So.
Outrage!
Yeah, a little bit. You think?
That's Marvel.
Yeah, it's I guess they tried to do anime, so it's called X-Men Phoenix Legacy of Fire.
That's gonna be like 2006 or 2005. There's no way that's current. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's a little something. I found a really good 1980s miniseries starring a small Marvel character called Gargoyle. He was part of the New Defenders. I always liked his character. One of my favorite DC characters that doesn't get enough love. We've got a set starring Spider-Man, Plastic Man.
Spider-Man does not get enough love.
Yeah,
especially Plastic Man when they refer to him as Spider-Man.
Yeah, this is, by the way, not Gail Simone. It's Phil Foglio. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All righty. And the big dogs, I guess, right?
You're going to kill me again if it's more magazines.
Huh?
You're going to kill me again if it's more Vampirella magazines.
No. It is a set, though. It is a set. It's we did a reading of this.
Oh, cool.
This is the very first appearance of the Freedom Fighters.
Yeah.
So, but
with the Ratsies.
Yeah, so I managed to get both issues, so you get the whole story. Yeah, so those are the big dogs and everything, and yeah, please show up for the auction as well. Fun times. You could offer Rampaging Hulk 1 and 2 as a pair. Yeah, I was going to do that. And
as always, for those who might be new watching this, the auction is actually pretty good books. There's your books that you can put for filling your collections. They start off at $1 for the first part, and then by increments they'll go up. So certain lots will be $2, $5. Then we get to the big dogs, you know. So if you're looking for good, if you don't want to bid, you just want to hang out and just talk comic books, talk about what you saw. You know, we're here to talk. It is a hangout. It's good. You know, just have fun as a community. You're getting good books for really cheap prices. And a lot of it's Silver Age, right? Silver Age to bronze.
Yeah. Well,
here and there.
Not this time around.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're not getting, like, he's not really putting out, you're not really doing the modern books. Like, you know.
Not very often, but I can't. No. Here you go, guys, right here. This is a link. Since MK is bringing it up, also ever hear a book about the Creature Commandos? Go to that link right there, and please, by all means, check this out. This is Comic Book Origins. I did that.
Now it's making me want to read the Punisher as Franken Punisher. Do you remember that Franken Castle?
That might be something to do as well. Yeah. So yes, I did read it, and I did make a Comic Book Origins on it. So please, by all means, check it out. I think you guys will like it. It was a lot of fun.
Were they always the Creature Commandos, or did they ever take up the mantle as the Howling Commandos?
No, Howling Commandos is Marvel. Creature Commandos are DC.
But the Howling Commandos, I was originally Nick Fury, but then I thought they had a Monster Squad, right?
Yeah, that came out later, but it was much later. Yeah, Creature Commandos came out before it. So yeah. Alrighty, so there you go, gang. Once again, thank you very much for hanging out, Venkman. Thank you very much for doing your homework and reading through the book.
It's not homework if you're having fun.
That's true. And as always, gang, thank you for continuing the conversation, and thank you very, very much for watching. Y'all have a good night.